up, everybody? It's your boy, the DJ. It's Ox here, and this is something that I never would have found if it had not been for the stream. We are reacting to the 10 months in 10 minutes World 2019 opening ceremonies backstage behind the scenes video. And guys, it's gonna be a longer one, so strap in. This video is 22 minutes long, so let's get into it. Here we go. This only has 1.2 million views. I'm surprised considering how many people recommended this.
The pinnacle of what fans look forward to every single League of Legends season.
Very true.
Getting to do this for players, it's really an honor, and it's incredibly motivating to think back to when I first started playing and I watched the show and I was completely blown away.
To go from watching something to them being part of the one down the road is just the coolest feeling ever.
The challenge is that we're always trying to figure out how to set the bar higher.
Yeah, you didn't do that for 2020. Reaction video to that coming soon.
Every year with the opening ceremony, there's a whole slew of challenges, but there's always 1 to 2 that we'll just remember forever.
In 2017, the Dragon wasn't landing on the stadium until the morning of the show.
What?
In 2018, everyone loved KDA, but we had our most public failure.
We had this big idea for a portal, and that broke live on air.
We lost power to the camera and completely ruined the transition into the next part of the show.
It's just a reminder that we're in a live show and anything can go wrong.
The 2019 opening ceremony was our most technically challenging show to date.
Wow,
The path to
that's
success
impressive.
is often unclear, and there were many hurdles along the way.
It's not 10 minutes. This is double that.
Is what's gonna be the thing? What's the dragon?
What's gonna be the
dragons?
We wanted to flip the show on its head. We wanted to give players something completely unexpected.
We wanted to bring our IP to life in ways that have never been accomplished before.
We wanted to depart from what we'd done the previous year. We knew we had the possibility to do some really cool stuff.
We didn't have the True Damage song. We didn't have the World's Anthem. We really were coming up with ideas without knowing how they were actually going to be.
When did True Damage come out again?
What if
I thought
we
they
made
had
the
this well. I thought
trophy
they had that
itself
well
this
before.
Sort of central character that revealed itself at the
The
end.
Louis
We had this
Vuitton.
idea of bringing our music videos to life on stage, but how we were actually going to accomplish that, we weren't quite sure yet.
How do you bring an Echo parallel convergence to life? How do you bring an Aurelia blade dance interacting with people, and how does that stay true to her character in the game?
Okay.
I remember, like, we started talking about magic.
Holograms in particular was a type of tech that we had wanted to play with,
Yes.
but never really had the opportunity to do before.
Yeah, but now you have the
Way to do
money.
magic
Well, they've had
in our way with technology.
Caitlin Duck.
When approaching the hologram technology, traditionally it's only viewed from a single point from the audience, but for our show it was going to be 360.
Right.
Pushing the limits of this technology.
We'd seen demos, but we hadn't done it. We'd seen other people's content, we hadn't seen ours. The fundamental question that we weren't going to be able
Because
to
if they were
answer
going to do it, they had to come out
until we
big.
answered it was, will this work?
Two months.
These opening ceremonies are perfect opportunities to take musical experiences to new places. And
The music, the orchestral, oh, it's so beautiful. They do their music so well.
In different kind of creative ways.
Awakened Giants and Phoenix were all very different genres of music, and figuring out a way.
Oh, they
to
didn't have
distinguish
Phoenix
the
before then, did they?
Was a challenge in itself.
I'm so dumb. Man, it's hard to remember the exact time frame of everything.
Not between previous years into this year and potentially showing more opportunity.
it was really exciting to think about True Damage making their debut at Worlds. It was also
Yeah.
terrifying because as with any song, you're not always 100% sure if everyone's going to vibe with it. We really wanted to think about.
Yeah, I
what
wasn't sure about that
music would sound
that
like
slowed
in
down
5 or
part
10
for
years
Echo.
With a weird mix of languages and sounds, and taking something that's fundamentally hip hop but infusing it with a lot of unique DNA. We had to keep all of this under wraps, what it sounded like, what the performance was like, and we had to sort of trust that players would slow us down.
They use... This makes so much more sense. They collect the data from live people for the dance.
This path into a genre that we
Oh
hadn't
my
explored.
goodness, I'm so dumb.
So when it comes to like working with certain artists, we really want to reach out to ones that like kind of get it, right? And are truly invested, understand what we're doing.
Hey,
They
Soyeon.
feel like they're
Becky G.
inhabiting Senna, when they feel like they're bringing Echo to life. Like that is the sweet spot.
And overall, just a cool partnership, a cool experience to do something together.
That makes... Oh my goodness. I cannot believe I haven't really thought of that.
So when we had chosen the members of the band, this basically it became the time of excitement for us because the opening ceremonies team then had an understanding of what it was going to potentially look
Things are
like.
starting to come together here. They finally have the pieces, and you can get an idea of what the last picture is going to look
keep
like.
pushing the limits of what technology can do for us, but that is in service of where is our imagination taking us. Embracing holograms gave us the opportunity to have this action and reaction between our virtual performers and our human performers.
Wait,
In a way
I just accidentally kicked my lights. Hold on.
that
And we're
really
back.
very special.
When we first started
Goodness gracious.
investigating how to
Anything
do
can
this
happen
show,
during a
how
recording,
to
guys.
get
Anything.
around and represent these champions on stage with real live performers, we realized that we needed some very specific technology in order to make that happen.
With augmented reality, there's always this compromise of like, it's going to look great on broadcast, but is it really that compelling in a live setting? And
Right.
this is going to be really special because we don't actually need that layer of technology through
Mhm.
a camera to be able
It's for
to
everybody.
experience it. There's actually going to be a whole bunch of HoloNet scrims, which you can see here.
Yeah.
This
And so it looks like the
shows
actual
the
set from
visual to the naked eye,
in front of the fan in True
and
Damage.
It will be able to capture our projections on it.
In order to make this feel most magical, we needed to hide as much of how it all came together from the audience as possible.
To accomplish that,
And then
we
you
had to
made this
find
video.
ultra-short-wave projectors, which are in a very limited amount in the entire world.
The first question was, can we get enough to even do this?
With holograms, if the holograms fail,
I
you
love
just
the
have
tech
to
part of this. I love how you guys are enjoying the
There's
tech
nothing
part of
else to
this.
it.
The show was so reliant on the technology. We knew that we needed to stress test it to its max. We got a small test piece that we were able to set up in the LCS studio here in LA.
This is the very first time that we've actually put content intended for the actual show on the technology. Bring out the clothes and see what the clothes look like and what people look like back there with the stuff.
Everyone was so excited to see what this product looked
And
like.
it's gonna
None of us
fail
had actually seen
miserably,
it before.
please.
We learned that
Just for the
lighting
first
was one of
thing.
the tricks to create the illusion.
Something we learned was that if performers were wearing dark clothes or black clothes, they would just disappear, and certain materials were really distracting behind the holograms.
In order to
Interesting.
deliver a show that really worked, we had to get the best people in the world at every position.
It's really incredible, all the people who are.
They make it sound like it's that hard to do. I mean, if anybody can do it, Riot can. Come on.
Through this hologram technology.
I love this. I just love this music. I just like the simple percussion.
We set up a full-scale hologram.
All right, so we've cut the time in about half.
If for some reason it didn't work, we were so close to show date that we really didn't have any backup options.
It's very difficult to pinpoint very specific problems with
The
specific
stress.
without seeing it.
This is like months in advance. That's a decent chunk of the year.
For sure. Like, that's not...
Solutions have been found.
I love this. I love this. I love this. I love this. I love this so much.
It was great. And then we're doing prep today. We're doing 3 days of work here, and then we have a full shoot day Monday. And I die Tuesday.
The ceiling is actually moving.
This was one of
The ceiling is
largest
moving?
uses of this technology to
I think
date.
this is the Awaken
So
instrumental.
many unique gags that we were trying with the technology.
Oh
and we needed to
my
make sure
God.
that each
Yeah, no,
one
this is it.
was playing exactly the way we expected it to.
We were moments away from departure, and all the things that had to get figured out were piling up. We still had to shoot the talent on green screen for their holograms.
That is so crazy, and that's like the craziest thing I've ever seen. It's awesome. It's gonna be great to really bring it to life.
Oh, yeah.
Sort of inhabit Camille.
This is like reality is kicking in full force right now. You're in it now. There's no turning back.
Beautiful. Beautiful. That's good.
You know, this is the most magical stairs I've ever been on.
The lighting was terrible. You literally could not see that, man.
Whoa.
Oh, I love hearing the words in my head.
It's the moment of truth.
Faster, okay. Now. Like here, there's a little more separation, but here there isn't. So.
In the week before,
You just run it over and over and over, and you just nitpick.
Passionate, frantic rush. What can we do to make this absolutely the best? Because we know it can be.
So that we could go 6. And then.
I love that the background was the cup. I love that.
It's gonna be 1 meter away. It wasn't 1 meter away.
No.
it says it's supposed to be a meter. What was it? A meter away? No.
We weren't even in Paris yet, and we knew that we weren't going to get the.
It was in
full
Paris.
content until the day before the show. So.
That's so. And it's one day. Yes! Yes! Oh my goodness, we're only halfway through. We're only halfway through. We're a week left.
7 days to make everything work perfectly.
We knew that we were going to have an extraordinarily tight load in.
In 2018, we had over 2
Oh
weeks
my
of
goodness, I'm so
2 days of
happy.
tech rehearsal and 5 days of rehearsal. Every minute of delay starts to just remove rehearsal time.
Yes.
Our production team worked a heroic 24/7 schedule to get that show loaded in.
It's insane. Everyone, it's rushing
There's
to
so
finish
much.
everything.
Everything comes back to how much time will we have to get the creative ready.
Oh my
for show.
goodness,
We
all
always
the
wish we had
lighting
more time.
is insane. It's like another stadium's
While our
worth
main
of
stage was being built, we actually
space used for
replicated
lighting.
its dimensions in the next room over. That way, our talent and our dancers could get used to their blocking and actually interacting with the holograms.
Oh yes,
The
with the
first time
Aurelia
that
blade
talent
dance.
is
Got it.
working with the technology.
That
This
was the
also
core.
first
That was the
time
primary
choreographers were getting
choreography
to
for
work
that
with
for
the
Phoenix.
local Parisian dancers.
It's the first time for a lot of things.
Seeing the True Damage crew practice the song together for the first time was kind of nerve-wracking. This was a group of artists that come from all over, that speak different languages. We didn't know how well they get along, how good their group chemistry would be.
Really
they get to
important
see
that
themselves.
Even in a small amount of time, that they learn how to work together really well.
They had to be in sync, and we only had a few days to get them there.
We're thinking for today, it would be great to just go in chronological order. So we're kind of going to go in sections. And so the more that we are interacting and we're moving in the same way.
Fam, this is so cool.
Yeah, that's when
Guys,
like, you really
you don't understand. As a theater person, I get this. As a theater person who has seen the frantic nature of putting a production together, not on this scale, but I understand like the emotionally what they're going through, the adrenaline, the stress, the planning, the focus on every detail. This speaks to me in a way that only 11 years of experience would have me understand.
like all working together.
Crazy visuals is next level. You know, I can't wait.
I started when I was 7 doing this. I am a entertainer. I am a performer. This is such a reality for me. Oh.
I feel like I need to like elevate my own like personal performance now. After all that, you know all that. I'm like, okay, I guess rapping on the mic ain't enough now.
24/7 consistent rehearsal, the fun that we have as well.
Months and months of planning.
Everything, all the time, effort, and coordination coming down to months being boiled down to hours. 2 hours. of time. Everything that you prepared for, you've memorized, you've learned, you've troubleshooted, coming down to a very, very short amount of time.
Every take we get more confident, more comfortable, but I feel excited. How you feel?
I love the way he speaks. I just love his...
Everybody coming through, holding their thing.
A lot of African Americans, or like a lot of African people, the way that they speak is so interesting just because it just flows smoother. There's just something about the way that the African people speak that I love. The way that their language has affected their vowel shape and their tone is so amazing. It's just I speak like the most basic person ever. Everybody else speaks more interestingly than me.
That's where the chaos really begins. We need to see so many things for the first time.
We had a lot of
Yeah,
fears
yeah, because they have
we had a lot of
completely different dimensions.
Everything had to go perfect. If one thing went wrong, if a hologram
Because then
breaks,
they
if
followed up
somebody misses their
with
cue,
the
lighting is off,
with
whole
the
thing
portal.
kind of
They
breaks.
have
We
to
need
follow up
see
from
the
last
light
year.
interact with the holograms.
When and how
Everything has to work. They do not want to make a
There was
streak.
trouble getting the old technology to work with the new technology.
We needed to see the trunk open.
Turns out that it was more complicated than we expected it to be.
There's all of the challenges around broadcast. Do we like the camera angles?
There was content being worked on till the very last second.
Oh yeah. Everything is subject to change until it is happening.
Hitting the marks, and that's
Everything is subject to change.
When I'm already in my, like, 2 bars in.
First mark for third chorus. Cool.
Is it weird that I'm like not all the way over and then
It's alignment, it's not consistent.
That man is chilling, and I love it.
I think the toughest part this week has just been getting all the content done and making sure that it looks good,
Yeah, mic
and
checks
scaled
and everything,
properly,
yeah.
and is interacting with the human. Valerie sounds great, doesn't she? Oh my gosh.
Nerves are
Time's running out.
I would kill to be
There
in
are
one
so
of
many
these.
things that we want to go right, but we can only push so far. If the hologram breaks, we don't have a solve for that. So we hope that the rest of the elements are able to help carry the show in some way.
That's not ever something you want to... The amount of stress that comes from that being your plan is crazy. Just everything you work for could be broken on something that you don't know how to control.
No, you just gotta keep reviving.
17 hours! Oh my goodness!
Until literally they say stop turning stuff in because the show is already over. We've got to stop.
What we see here is what we're going to get tomorrow. The show must go on.
It's so stressful. It's so stressful. It's so stressful. Oh my gosh. Oh, the city looks like it's went on fire with the orange lights. Daytime, here we go! Yes!
We're super excited. We know today's the day.
You can see and hear fans lining up outside of the building, and all of this is for them and their experience and their enjoyment. We're all very anxious.
Months of work are gonna show today. Like, we know everything is to
Ah!
work perfectly.
There's really no downtime before the show. We are working up until
What
the
I would have done
We're
to
all having this
go
underlying stress of is this actually
the Brawl Stars, Clash Royale. Even Clash Royale. I'll go to Clash Royale World Finals, League of Legends. I have to go to World Finals sometime in my life.
if we were going to be able to have that be
Ah.
a working element in our show. Everything that could go wrong with Kiana's ring the morning of the show was going wrong.
Let's check. Let's not hold doors.
HoloNets were getting unfocused because of the air conditioning in the room.
You know, the natural elements of the world.
Because they are cleaning the floor and they are super close to the screen right now.
No one anywhere near the screen, please.
You just have to accept that you're doing.
And no
as much
matter
as you
how
can,
many times
whatever will
you
happen.
tell people to get away from the curtain or get away from the scrim or get away from the screen, they will always, somebody will forget.
Pencils down. This is it.
Nothing more we can do. Here we go. This is the game.
And we're about to watch the last 6 months of life's work.
They spent half a year for 14 minutes. That amount of time, there's just nothing you can compare it to. Because it's live, it's not a movie. You can't redo. It happens, it happens. Ah!
At this point, we've been working for 10 months.
This is what I need to do in my future.
Officially, we have to take our hands off the steering wheel.
It's completely out of our control, and all there is left to do is watch.
All I'm thinking about is that first hologram instant.
It hits, and you hear the crowd's reaction.
And it works.
That was a really, really special moment for us.
As much as we'd been telling ourselves we knew this would work, now we knew it worked.
Yeah, they didn't know until it fired that it would actually work. The projectors they needed were, there's only a few in the world. It's just ridiculous. Oh, they're so good though. It works. Oh, I feel for them.
There's the massive "What You Mean" graphic on the holo, and as much as I love everything about that performance, nailing that beat in the show was the one that mattered to me more than anything.
Yeah.
That was such a highly complex moment of the show.
And in rehearsal, we just hadn't gotten it.
It was better than we could have ever imagined.
At the end of True Damage, there's this momentary feeling of relief, like we got through that. And then your brain
It's
kicks in
done.
and you're like, oh, there's all of Phoenix. We gotta do it.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
As we're sitting there watching Phoenix, we know that this trophy case moment is coming up, and that's a
Yeah.
huge beat in our show.
The day had started with the case not opening.
Oh
Can't
no,
unveil
seriously?
A trophy if the box doesn't open. And I remember the Steadicam move starting to circle around the case, and I had
Just a
2
pit.
seconds that felt like 2 hours of
A
panic.
pit in your stomach.
You gotta open. You have to open.
That was the last big hurdle.
The relief and
He
catharsis
just
of that
nods
is
and smiles.
scary thing.
Wait, no.
The relief and catharsis, because that is effectively the last scary thing.
They did not know until it happened.
Okay, so 2020 kickoff meeting, yeah?
Delivering something like the opening ceremony.
Oh,
is
right, and then they
so
were all
hard
like,
to describe the
they
process.
didn't want
The
to smile.
reaction, it's showing that all those months are paying off.
Oh, guys, this is such a good recommendation.
Really got to see it.
This
And
is so
I'm
good.
sad because it's over. We're gonna go home and get back to work.
Gonna go home and do it again for 2020, which
The storm is over. It is now just enjoying the next World Championship.
it's just on to the next thing.
Getting back
Worlds.
into our normal routine, things feel a little bit quieter and a little bit slower for a while.
We have already begun planning what we're gonna be doing for this year's World Ceremony.
This is the 10th anniversary of competitive League of Legends, and we need a ceremony that's going to be as big as that moment should be.
I'm really most excited to explore what else is out there and what else we could bring to the show.
Engaging on these kinds of big creative
They're
questions
kicking
is the high that
themselves
we
right
wanna
now.
Keep chasing.
I mean, it wasn't their fault, but still.
Music is a central force in our shows. And
Yes, it is.
Something that will stick with players forever. So I think we're going to carry that over into 2020.
We're
Well,
excited
please
about the
do.
future and all of the different ways we can make the next opening ceremony incredible.
The 2020 ceremony is gonna be awesome.
Guys, the sad part is that it wasn't. It's so sad seeing his confidence, man. It's just, well, man, that was wild. That was wild. I enjoyed that even more than the actual world ceremonies. Just because it's so much, guys, it's about the relatability. Much as I love the music and everything, it's how much this speaks to me that I just love. And it's not that the world ceremonies was bad. It's just that I understand. I love it. Thank you for the suggestion. Absolutely a wild ride. Make sure I'm so glad you've watched it all the way through to this point. This is a long one. I'm testing out long form content, reaction content with you guys to see if you'll watch it all the way through. So if you've made it to this point, drop a like, drop a comment. Thank you so much. Plug it in, turn it up. Peace.